Yo, man, welcome back to the channel, man. Y'all see the title, man. Let's go ahead and get straight into this video, man, and all that. Run the road to 2K subs. Y'all know the vibes, man. Hit that like button, sub. Y'all know what's up, man. Let's get into it.
If you had to guess what the 20 most valuable sports teams on Earth are, where would you start? Football is the most popular sport on Earth, so you'd guess some famous football teams would be on this list. Real Madrid? Yep, here at number 11. Manchester United? Check. Barcelona? Liverpool? Check and check. How about that team that won a historic 3 trophies last year and is owned by an ultra-rich monarchy? Nope, not on the list. In fact, that's it for football teams. Baseball also has a huge fan base, but only one team made the list, and there's only 3 basketball teams. The last 12?
Yeah, see, thing is, look, NFL teams, Cowboys. Who's like the big market? I know Cowboys, one of the Cowboys. Yankees are up there. Warriors up there too. Lakers, Knicks, yep.
Teams on this list don't play any of the world's most popular sports. Turns out they all play American football in the National Football League, which has pretty much been printing money for 50 years.
Told you, Cowboys up there. I told you, Cowboys. Told you. Cowboys, number one, just because, saying they're America's, like, team, so they got to be up there. You feel me? They got to be up there. Giants, too. I forgot about Giants, too.
Today, the NFL makes more money than any other sports league in the world, and it's not even close. What did the NFL figure out that all the other sports leagues didn't? And will any of them ever catch up?
The thing is, I think they could catch up, but I think it's going to take them a little while to study the NFL to get where NFL, they make a lot of money, which is why they're the best sport, why people like it so much. Now, other sports, NBA, MLB, I feel like they'll follow like that, but it's going to take some time. Feel me?
It's going to be touchdown!
The first difference between the NFL and European leagues stems from a single decision made more than 120 years ago.
Third base in the first inning.
In the mid-1800s, both America and England decided to create professional leagues for their favorite sports. In the US, that was baseball. In England, it was football. Okay, quickly before we move on, because this video is ultimately about American football, I'm going to call this sport football and this sport soccer. Apologies to my non-American viewers, but that's just how we're going to do it. Both countries wanted to create a league where, 1, all the best teams in the country could consistently play each other, and 2, the team owners would make money. But each achieved this in different ways because they have different geographies. In the US, the major cities, and therefore the best teams, are far apart. A round trip for the Boston team to play the St. Louis team would take almost 3 days of travel, which cost the owner a lot of money. He needed to pay his players for all that time, and in fact make them full-time employees, which was new back then. So when the National League formed, it gave them some guarantees. First, a monopoly over their territory. The league wouldn't let in another Boston team, so they would always be the best team in their region, allowing them to attract the most fans and make the most money. Only in huge cities like New York and Chicago would they allow 2 teams. After establishing itself, the NL restricted membership, guaranteeing these teams a spot and creating the first closed league. The rest of America's sports leagues followed its example, including in 1920, the National Football League.
Football, Yankee style, rougher, more spectacular than rugby or soccer.
So Americans deciding to create closed leagues is a key decision that makes them different from European leagues. And I want to create an animation that we can use throughout the video to see how this works. Okay, so this is the league and these are the teams. In the NFL, there are 32 of them, and the best teams are up here and the worst down here. Okay, so this orange line means that the league is closed, but I kind of want to figure out a way to make this visual a little bit more memorable.
To be honest, the NFL could expand like their league more if they feel me. Look, to be honest, y'all, if the NFL wanted, they could expand the league more to where they put teams they put one in St. Louis, they're bringing back to St. Louis, depending if they even want the team in St. Louis. You feel me? They could do that. What other city? I mean, shoot, I don't know. Portland can get a team. Oregon can get an NFL team.
Okay, let's use this to close it. Now, the size of each team is going to represent how rich they are, which is important because the NFL worried that the richest teams would buy up all the best players. And always
Cowboys worth $9 billion is insane. $9 billion? Now this makes sense. Yes, Cowboys, Giants, Rams, Patriots. This right here makes sense why these are like the most expensive teams. Damn, my team is right here. Damn. That is crazy. But the Bills, I'm not the Bills. Cowboys are like Americans team. Cowboys, Giants, 49ers, they have one of the most biggest fan base. Cowboys, 49ers, and Giants. Promise you.
Always beat the poor teams. Basically, they worried every NFL season would end like this. And fans would find that boring. So early on, they made another key decision to avoid that. The NFL limits every team to spending the same amount on players every year, something called a salary cap. In addition, the worst teams in the league gets the first pick in a draft of college players the next year, giving them a better chance of moving up. These rules give every NFL team the same chance to succeed. This is how the NFL finished in the 2022-23 season. In the last decade, 8 different teams won the championship.
Chiefs are Super Bowl champions here in Miami.
These rules to keep
Last one, what? 2012.
teams equal is why experts often describe American sports leagues as socialist. And if we use our same diagram to look at Europe's soccer leagues, you can see why they're described as hyper-capitalist.
Okay, so running Search Party requires a ton of writing, whether it's writing emails to my sources early on in the story.
Is that a salary cap for football and Europe and all that? Is that a salary cap or just they just give out money to whoever they feel like? Is there a salary cap or no?
Or outlining or scripting, or even giving notes to our researchers and editors. But all that work is for nothing if my writing is bad. So that's why I use Grammarly. It's an AI.
Can y'all let me know? Is there a salary cap in the Euro League or is there not? I don't know if there is or not.
Now let's get back to the video.
I don't know.
Cities in England are much closer than in America, so in 1888, the founders of the Football League didn't give teams the same guarantees. Instead, they created a series of open leagues. It's called open because anyone can start a team and enter the bottom league. Then each year, the top few teams in each league are promoted up, and the bottom few are relegated down in order to keep the best teams together each season. But unlike the NFL, it means any team can join the top league simply by winning.
Impossibly, illogically, Leicester City are the champions of England.
But this also means that any team can get kicked out if they have a bad season.
Well, it has been one hell of a ride for Leicester City, but 7 years after they lifted the Premier League, it is time to say goodbye.
To make matters more cutthroat, England's football leagues don't have a salary cap like the NFL does. So rich teams
don't have a... Okay, so they just spend their... Okay, that's why they begin them get us... I'll be honest, bro. It's like the football over there in Europe, if they had a salary cap, I think every team would benefit from that. Like a salary cap where how much they can spend. But even though they have a lot of money, but I feel like they're just spending money on their best players. But if they had a salary cap, I feel like that would kind of help
can spend far more than the others and win more. This is why the Premier League finished like this in 2023 and why only 5 teams have won it in the past decade. Today, every European country's soccer league works roughly in the same way, and many are dominated by the richest teams. But because they're in open leagues, they're still considered less valuable than most NFL teams.
Exactly.
See, investors know if an NFL team finishes dead last, it gets to stay in the NFL next season, making NFL money. But in a European league like the Premier League, when a team finishes last, they're kicked down to the lower, less popular league, where they'll make far less money. Even the threat of that happening is pressuring Premier League teams to spend dangerous amounts of money.
Newcastle United have broken their transfer record.
The English Premier League's record summer spending has come to an end.
Take Manchester City, who earned $788 million in revenue in 2022, the most in the Premier League. That year, the Washington Commanders made $545 million, the 8th most in the NFL. But Manchester City spent more than $614 million on player wages, while the Commanders were only allowed to spend $214 million because of the NFL salary cap. That's the big...
That is crazy. Same thing. I feel like if the Europe League people soccer over there had like a salary cap, I feel like that would help everybody. But then also they have an open league. If they had a closed league where they just keep the teams right there, boom, like certain team, boom, right there.
biggest
That's
reason why the
hopefully
Commanders
more,
ended
but-
up making $30 million more in profits. In fact, every NFL team was more profitable than Manchester City, which,
That's
again,
crazy.
was the most profitable team in England. Most teams in the Premier League actually lose money. Even though soccer teams are more popular than football teams, investors consider NFL teams to be more valuable because that league's guarantees and cushy safety net makes them a far safer bet than Europe's teams that need to spend big and get lucky just to maybe make a profit.
That's
But that
crazy.
leaves one more question about this list that becomes glaring when you expand it to the top 50. American baseball teams are in a closed league, but there are only 5 here. And American basketball teams are in a closed league with a salary cap, but there's only 6. Meanwhile, almost every NFL team is on this list. That's because the NFL saw what the future of sports would be long before anyone
That is crazy. You got the best. I thought only about to pay for the update because of Tom Brady.
else
Come on,
did.
let's be
Who
honest.
doesn't enjoy a football game? If you're one of the lucky ones able to get a ticket, thanks to the newest marvel of modern science, television, you can just lean back in a comfortable chair at home, relax, and watch the game.
In 1946, there were approximately 12,000 television sets in the US. 4 years later, there were about 4 million, and they were increasingly tuned to live sports. Major League Baseball broadcast its first game in 1939. 2 months later, the NFL followed. It was the start of a close relationship with television companies that would be another key ingredient to the NFL's business success. At first, NFL teams sold their television rights individually to their local stations, but by 1950s, big national networks wanted in. Football was dramatic programming that they could air relatively
See, but I
cheaply.
the reason why that's good too is whatever stand and whatever team's there locally, you'll get every single game. Feel me? You'll get every single game. So say if you're like in Maryland, locally you're gonna get every Ravens game. Say if you're saying you're like in like Texas or like Dallas or whatever it is, you're gonna get them type of games. That's a good thing. The locally channels, boom, where you watch on your local channel, and then the big networks where you watch mostly every game that's in, well, whatever they put on your.
And it allowed them to fill the
Channels,
otherwise
something like that.
boring Sunday afternoon slot. In 1961, the NFL sold the rights to broadcast all of its games to CBS, the first time any sports league sold its TV rights collectively, and the US government sued them. The NFL prevailed and made a second revolutionary decision. In keeping with the spirit of equality, they decided to split that TV revenue equally among the teams. Arguably, the big city teams deserved a bigger share because they would attract more viewers, but the NFL believed sharing the revenue would enable them to grow rich together and keep every team
Exactly.
competitive. And they were right. One team from a small rural town in Wisconsin soon dominated
Green
the
Bay.
NFL.
The only professional team that ever has won 5 national championships. Green Bay on game day. Community spirit has encouraged these boys and kept them among the leaders.
By the late 1960s, TV networks helped make football America's favorite sport. Americans still love baseball and basketball, but NBA teams played 82 games a season, and MLB teams played 162, meaning many games were in.
Damn, wait, hold on. Hold on. Baseball, MLB, they play 162 games a year. What the fuck? Nah, that's way too much games. 162 on top of that playoff? What the fuck? I did not know baseball, MLB, they play 162 games? That's way too, God, that's way
Consequential.
too much.
NFL teams only played 16 games, so every single one of them mattered. The TV networks loved that and paid the NFL more money each year, which the league passed along to the teams. But this TV revenue also pushed the NFL to think of its games not just as sports competitions, but as television products.
And we hit the 2-minute warning.
That'll bring us to the 2-minute warning, sir.
2-minute warning at the AFC title game.
The NFL instructed referees to pause the game 9 minutes into each half if play hadn't stopped yet, creating the first TV timeout. And it maintained breaks 2 minutes before the end of each half, the most dramatic moments in the game, so that TV networks could sell ads at a premium.
And ABC's NFL Monday Night Football presents.
Playing every game simultaneously divided viewership. So in 1970, TV networks got the NFL to move one game to Monday night. Monday Night Football was such a success that in 2006, they added a Thursday night game. In 2022, these 3 slots were the first, third, and 6th most watched TV shows in America. As early as the 1960s,
I'll be
the
honest,
NFL welcomed
Thursday night football game those games are fucking terrible. I'm sorry. The best games to watch, Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football, and then the games that come on like 10 o'clock, 1 p.m., whatever time zone you in. To me, Thursday Night Football is just, I don't know, that shit is just not, I don't like it. I like Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football. Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football is the best thing to watch. And then like the 10 a.m. game, 1 p.m., whatever you from.
Welcomed cameras on its sidelines and locker rooms, then on its equipment. In the 80s, it was the first league to have its referees use instant replay to review plays. The NFL even updated the rules to incentivize passing offenses, which TV audiences enjoyed the most. Deciding early to optimize itself for television is a major reason why today the NFL can sell its TV rights for far more than any other sports league. In fact, English soccer struggled to get its games reliably on TV until the 1980s, primarily because it was worried it would dissuade fans from attending them in person. Today, Europe's TV audience is divided among the many soccer leagues, while in the US, every football fan watches the NFL. This huge amount of TV money pouring into a closed league is why the average NFL team is now worth more than $5 billion, and therefore make up most of the world's most valuable sports teams, for now. In 2021, 12 of Europe's richest soccer clubs announced they were forming a new Super League. Each would be guaranteed a spot in this closed league, adhere to strict spending rules, and would share TV revenue, a lot like the NFL. It's no surprise that 3 of these teams are owned by people who also own American sports teams. Given soccer's global popularity, a league like that could make these teams billions of dollars every year, catapulting them past.
If they bring like the best teams and just put them in like a closed league where they all share the revenue and this and that, and then they can expand it more. Bro, if your people can watch the NFL and do that, bro, they will make more money and not lose money the way that they spend it. I don't know if there's even a salary cap, even on soccer or football, whatever. I don't think there even is a salary cap, but if they had a salary cap, that would be good. That would be good if they had a salary cap.
Teams. They canceled the plan when fans rose up in protest. But they're unlikely to give up because they know it would make them rich. Just look at India. In 2008, when Indians launched a professional cricket league, they styled it after the NFL, creating a closed league, including just a few franchises, and splitting the TV revenue equally. A mere 15 years later, it's second behind the NFL in revenue and closing fast. The NFL figured out how to turn a distinctly American sport into the world's richest league. Now we're about to see the world's most popular sports try it for themselves. Hey everybody, thanks for watching.
I mean, they can do that. I mean, if they really follow the NFL, I feel like y'all know I love basketball and NFL. I feel like NBA could be there with the NFL, but they just gotta, I don't know, maybe lower like the games on where they play 58 games maybe. It really depends, because they can do that. It would be good if NBA can like restructure a contract to even sign somebody, but who knows, y'all. Anyway, let me know what you think down below. What y'all think? Tell me if the other leagues will be like the NFL. Let me know down below, man. I'll see you guys later, man. We out.